Querida tribu, hoy tenemos una entrevista extraordinaria. Seguramente te has preguntado cómo llegar a más mercados, a más países y cómo te puede ayudar el comercio electrónico. Pues el día de hoy nos acompaña Alex Tsai. Él es jefe de alianzas estratégicas para la región de América de Alibaba.com y nos va a platicar de estas y otras cosas. Alex, welcome to Aldea Financiera.
Un gran placer, mucho gusto. Gracias, Roberto.
Al contrario, I want to start with the first question, and is how is compound Alibaba? Because Alibaba.com is for B2B, but the Alibaba Group is huge. How we can differentiate the different parts of the business?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Thank you for that question, Roberto. Actually, I think that's one question that a lot of people also wonder or confuse themselves in when they hear about Alibaba, right? So to answer to your question, so Alibaba actually started in 1999. You probably have heard the story of Jack Ma,
Correct.
Our founder,
Very famous.
Along with his 18 co-founders, right, that started the company back in 1999. It actually started with the company called Alibaba.com. At that time, it was actually, you can think of as a yellow page where Jack has a vision that he want to look at, okay, how can technology be really a force to level the playing field, right, for all the small, medium businesses, because all the large corporates, they have the resources, they have the technology to do it. But there's not much platform resources out there to support the small, medium business. So he had this great idea. This is back in the 90s, right? So there was a huge growth in terms of manufacturing in China. And then they're always looking for, companies, businesses, buyers, in the rest of the suppliers, in the rest of the world. So that's where the idea came. Okay, how about we start a company that's focused on yellow page format, connecting all the Chinese suppliers with all the different companies that are looking for the products. And then that's how they started in 1999, with Jack Ma, 18 co-founders. And then fast forward, today, 24, 25 years later, Alibaba Group, as we call it, is really an ecosystem, una ecosistema, right? And we call it ecosystem because it's no longer just a company focused on B2B cross-border trade platform. It is really an ecosystem where we believe we put our customers first at the center. And who are our customers? Are all the different consumers, right? And also all the different businesses on our platform, right? Because you have the suppliers, the businesses that sell, but you also have the consumers. How can we actually provide an integrated, complementary services and the user experience to what we're offering as a company, right? So our company, Alibaba, still has e-commerce at the core, right? So we have China e-commerce, we have international e-commerce, ranging from all the major markets in the world, from US, Europe, Southeast Asia, Middle East, right? We have a presence from the e-commerce standpoint. But beyond that, when you think of e-commerce, it's complicated, right? But to even add to that complexion is there's also additional services that comes to e-commerce. For instance, logistics, right?
Correct.
You're a buyer in e-commerce. You gotta ship the products, right? You gotta receive the products. There's payments, right? There's also cloud services to support our technology backend, right, for the e-commerce business. So with that said, that's Alibaba. Naturally, as they evolve this supporting services for the e-commerce business, it became a standalone business unit. To give an example, for instance, Alipay, right, yes, or what we call Ant Financials today, started as a escrow services for the buyers and sellers, right? And then today it has become one of the leading financial services company,
correct,
in China. There's that. There's also Alibaba Cloud. Similarly, this is an interesting story. I don't know if you've heard about Double 11. It is a Double 11. You can think of as a Black Friday and Cyber Monday all combined together and much bigger, right? So
Okay.
Double 11, in China is called Singles Day. It is one of the largest shopping festival in China, and then today it has expanded to all Asia, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's basically on that day, you, as a consumer, right, you get massive discounts, and then people will pre-order days, weeks in advance. They will start researching, right? So with that said, that initiative program that started, many years, more than a decade ago, started creating huge traffic influx to our website. And then, if you're familiar with e-commerce, a lot of this is a backend technology to support that, right?
Correct.
And then that's where Alibaba started developing their own internal cloud services businesses. And, and now over the years, you just naturally see the demand in the market, right?
And it's only for Alibaba, or is for also external customer?
It's started for Alibaba to support our internal business, but now today it's actually one of the leading, Alibaba Cloud example, one of the leading cloud service provider in Asia, right? And then obviously the service available worldwide, right?
Amazing.
And then beyond that, the Alibaba group, right, as an ecosystem, we also have, logistics. We even have digital media entertainment. So, for instance, Youku, you can think of as a YouTube of China.
Okay.
Right. So, Idea.
And it's also part of the Alibaba group?
Correct. It's part of Alibaba group. So, Idea is that, as a consumer, we would love to provide this experience where you can, shop, you'd be able to entertain yourself, you'd be able to really experience, your life, making payments, buying stuff, having good times, all within our Alibaba ecosystem, where you have this integrated experience, right? So that's kind of how the ecosystem kind of diversified. We even have our own grocery business units, right?
Really?
Yes, called.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then also even our traveling platform called Fliggy, right? So it's really.
And how that started? Because you had a lot of executives moving around because of the business, or it was something that you saw as an opportunity, and you just make it as a new entrepreneurship in order to provide those services of traveling for people?
Oh, you mean for that traveling platform? Yeah. It essentially comes out from the demand, right? I think when there's demand, as a company, we look at, okay, why is there demand and how we can help facilitate, make it easy, right, for the users to take leverage and take advantage of that demand.
And it also works here in America, and it's only for Asia?
For that specific platform, mainly in Greater China region, right?
Okay.
Right. But going back to e-commerce, I want to kind of pull it back a little bit because I can talk about all the
a lot of companies. Yes.
Yeah, but for Alibaba.com, right, which I focus on, is really focused on the as it is essentially the world's leading B2B global trading platform, right? So we have 40 million active buyers around the world,
Amazing.
More than 200,000 suppliers around the world in 190 countries, covering more than all the 40 sectors and industries in the world. So basically, you can think of any product that you're looking to buy as a business, as long as it's not illegal, right? You can likely find that product or supplier on our platform. Yeah. And then our goal essentially is to help connect all these business buyers and business sellers around the world, right? And then we're here in Mexico. The idea is that also to support, and then working with the Secretaría de Desarrollo Económico, with all different cámaras, asociaciones, to support the small medium businesses, los pymes o mexicanos.
And you see Mexico as a big opportunity in order to invite the companies to be part of the growth that the e-commerce is having around the world.
Absolutely. I feel like that's a question that's not even being doubted today, right? As
Correct.
we know, then many people, Mexico really, today, obviously the near-sharing trend, right, it's taking all the headlines. But I think fundamentally, from my perspective, nearshoring, obviously, it's really lifting, right, the boats, right, everyone all together for taking this opportunity. But I think fundamentally, from my personal own humble opinion, observation, is the investment, right, that Mexico has been doing for the past decade, right, in supporting, with in terms of trade treaties, right, with all the different countries in the world, and then as well as investment, right, in supporting the manufacturing sectors, right, in the industries. And I feel like it's kind of the perfect timing, right, where the companies, the manufacturings are at the level, right, that we can really take advantage of all these investments that are coming in from,
of course,
from rest of the world, right? Because I believe, in Mexico, the capability of the laborers, right, the educational level has really significantly increased, over the past decade. And then comparatively speaking to a lot of different developing countries, right, in Latin America, and now I'll probably say it's almost, I wouldn't call it Mexico in developing countries today, right? Because, where the stage of the country and where the economy is today.
That is great. And how is your business model? Because there are other big e-commerce platforms in the world. In America, there are a few of them. Also now with Alibaba.com. What is the difference between the business model of the regular e-commerce company and Alibaba.com?
Yes, great question, Roberto. And I think fundamentally, Alibaba.com is a unique platform in a way because we're specifically laser focused on B2B, right? So what our goal is to connect the business buyers and the business sellers around the world. So what that means is that for business today that they want to sell, obviously retail direct to consumer is something that comes to mind for most people, right? You can sell, in the traditional offline channels or sell online through different platforms that exist, in Mexico or rest of the world. But the end, the buyer, it's most of the time, are focused on consumers. But for Alibaba.com, we're focused on all the different buyers, businesses. And what that means is we're focused on wholesale, right?
Wholesale
And
specifically.
Very specifically in wholesale, right? So with that said, for our platform, designed from the ground up, it's designed to serve the wholesale buyers and wholesale sellers, right? So if you're a company here in Mexico, you could be an entrepreneur. Like, if I'm let's say a student, I have a great idea. Today, I can just go online, Alibaba.com, do some research, find the supplier, you get products, you test it, right? And then you can get could be a half finished goods, could be finished goods, could be components to help you design your prototype, right? Or it could be a machinery that you want to buy to manufacture. And then, you can start a business or reselling, right? So this is very common today, right? On Alibaba.com, a lot of Mexican companies and individuals are leveraging our platform to source, to buy, right? But on the flip side, one of our focus now, as beyond the sourcing aspect, which I think we think is very, very essential, important, is also to leverage our platform to help the Mexican businesses to also sell, to expand their distribution channels, right? So to give example, for instance, a company here in Jalisco, they essentially probably have been growing very steadily over the years, but they might be focused more on the traditional channels, right? So e-commerce essentially will become like digitalized business will become that new chapter for them to expand into,
Correct.
Right? That's one aspect that could be selling to end consumers. But the other aspect is the wholesale part, right? And that wholesale, for the most part, it's the overall business has been more relying on the traditional channels, relationship based, right? I know so and so that are, buying wholesale, right? Or I know somebody that's doing wholesale, right? But there's not many platforms out there, right? Or marketplaces that enables them to connect, right?
Correct.
To find this business opportunity. And then that's why we want to bring to the Mexican businesses, right? To be able to connect not only to the wholesale buyers here in Mexico, right? By the way, a fact, interesting data is Mexico today is actually the 5th largest market within Alibaba.com in terms of numbers of business buyers. So what that means is that
Around the world or just in Americas?
Around the world.
Wow.
Around the world, right? So basically there's a lot of, businesses, individuals leveraging Alibaba.com, right, to buy. And then what we want to share with them, right, and bring to all these businesses opportunity that not only to be able to expand your channel to sell, let's say, to United States, to export to United States, but also you can access the 190 countries that our platform access to, right? That's 2. And number 3, very importantly, also to help them access the Mexico domestic wholesale market, which usually they are still relying on the traditional channels to access. And the fact that Alibaba.com Mexico, within Alibaba.com Mexico is the 5th largest, buyer's market, that already proves the large opportunity, right, for all the different businesses that they can actually, just sell domestically here, wholesale, right, within Mexico.
And what is the regular or typical size of company that is using Alibaba.com as a platform for wholesale here in Mexico? And how hard is for a company in order to start doing business through your platform?
Yeah, no, great question, Roberto. I think how hard, that is a very subjective, and I must say, right, like every entrepreneurs out there, starting business is hard, right?
Of course.
90%
Not
of them,
an easy lunch. Yeah.
90% or 80% of them failed in 5 years, right? And then more than 50%.
Yes.
I think actually this is a data that I saw in Mexico, right? For all the BMIs, right, in Mexico, I believe like 99% are BMIs, right?
Correct.
And then, if I'm not correct, it's like 50% fail in first year, 90% will close down within 5 years. So I think starting business is not easy, right? I think it's a lot of grind and hustle. But to that point, I think why are there 99% BMIs? Because all of us are entrepreneurs. All of us, have that passion. Right.
Correct.
I want to be my own boss. I want to start something. I want to chase my dreams, right? And then we believe that Alibaba.com could be that tool, right, to help them take steps to achieve that. What I mean is that because Alibaba.com is today the largest platform where you'd be able to not only buy components or products that you're looking for, but most importantly for businesses, especially the BMIs that are thinking about expanding their traditional distribution channels, right? They're potentially, selling to their local distributors, they're selling to their retail channels, right? Or even wholesale, or maybe some of them are exporting, but they're exporting to specific companies or distributors in US. But what we want to provide them is, this is not something that a large corporate can do. You as a small business, right, can do it too, because I think that's the beauty of platform, beauty marketplace, and technology. Today, I can just go on to Alibaba.com, set up a membership, set up a store, upload my products, I start promoting, and then I have a store that I can reach 40 million buyers around the world, right? So I think that's kind of where we talk about the digitalization, right? I think the power of digitalization is really help you be able to scale, right? At the resources that is much more controllable, right? And then I think going back to your other question that you have in terms of what kind of companies on Alibaba.com, it really ranges from micro, solo entrepreneur to large corporates, right? So large corporates, they'll look at use our platform to buy and sell buying, could be components, materials, and then selling, they can use our platform to be a channel to further expand their wholesale B2B channels, right? And then similarly, I think I'll say majority of our core users are females, right? The small, medium businesses. And because we believe as a marketplace, right, we have the tools, we have the access of our marketplace to be able to help them reach, day one, all the different, 40 million potential buyers, right?
Yes.
As compared to, if today you're a small business, you set up your own website, you need to invest. You need to drive traffic.
Your range of influence is really reduced.
Right. So I think that's kind of where the business model of marketplace to individual stores are differentiated, right? There's no good or bad, which one's better. I think it's just really kind of should be, in my opinion, should be how you can complement that, right? Be an omni-channel approach, right?
And what is the first step for someone that is watching us at this moment and say, hey, I would like to try it. I want to have an extra income. I have the capabilities in order to start wholesaling. What will be the first step? Because Alibaba is a subscription-based business. Alibaba.com is a subscription-based business.
Membership-based, yep.
Correct.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Membership.
Yeah.
And what will be the first step, or what do you suggest for someone that is watching us to start in the e-commerce business through Alibaba.com?
Sure, yeah. So I think for B2B, Alibaba.com is slightly different from the traditional, I have a product, I put it on the website, and I can sell to the consumers, right? That's the kind of D2C, direct-to-consumer retail model that is very common today, right?
Correct.
And I think that's also the most common and popular way to think
It's
about.
the most popular at this moment.
Right,
Yes.
right. But for Alibaba.com, I think it really depends on where the business is today, right? So for instance, today, if a business, it's a small, medium business, already has their own products, right? That have a special competitive advantage if they believe in the external markets, right? They can today go onto Alibaba.com and then set up their own stores and then start selling, right? But I think the key there is to really assess where the competitive market is for them, right?
Okay.
I think some homework needs to be done. And I think part of that is that Alibaba.com, because we're a large marketplace, we also have a lot of data, right?
Correct.
That can offer, analysis, insights, right? In terms of, okay, keyword trending, for example. All right, I'm companies, for instance, I'm selling, let's say packaging for a bottle. Let's say, I don't know, bottle for tequila. I'm just making this up, right? A bottle for tequila. You can basically leverage our platform and start off using our platform as a research tool. You can enter your keywords, all right, tequila bottle, right?
So if you are a member, you can use all the big data that you have in order to make strategic commerce and business planning.
Yes, but for this, what I'm mentioning, you don't even need to be a member, right?
Or you can make a research without being a member?
Just go. If you go to Alibaba.com today, you enter a keyword product that you're looking for, right? So the way that that research can take place is that you can start getting better sense how many suppliers, companies out there are selling, let's say, a very specific tequila bottle, right?
Yes.
You can look at what kind of shape, where they produced, manufactured, and then you can start getting a better sense. Okay, let's say if I'm a Mexican bottle manufacturer, but on our platform, I see most of the bottles are produced, I don't know, in US or in China, but there's only a handful or none or few from Mexico. Then, in my opinion, I think that provides a great opportunity because, as we know, nearshoring, a perfect example. Let's say you're here, right? I'm a U.S. seller. For the most part, I'll rather buy from a suppliers locally, right?
Correct.
As compared to other parts of the world.
Reduce cost. It's more
Exactly.
efficient in time.
Right. So going back, right, I think using it as a research tool, it could be the first step, right, they can start. And then second step, I think it's is looking at where the businesses, if they have specific products, right, they can already leverage our platform to expand their distribution channels, right? So depending where they are thinking about exporting, I'm sure they will get a better sense. Okay, what are the target markets, right, that they want to focus on, and then on Alibaba.com, we be able to help them access 190 countries in the world, right? We don't have certain limitation. Okay, there's only buyers that you be able to access from US or from Mexico only.
Yeah, all day.
Your company, it's up there. Your product is on our platform, right?
Wow.
So everybody be able to access it, right? And then I see the next step is obviously becomes to how do the company optimize their store, right? Okay, making sure their product photos, their video, their certifications, the product descriptions is like SEO, right? The search engine optimization. You want to make sure that you optimize your store, your products at the most optimized fashion possible, so you be able to rank better, right, within our marketplace. That will generate better traffic, generate more inquiries, and then at the end of the day, more businesses.
So it's great what you have tell us here, Alex. Is great how Alibaba.com is helping companies in order to reach other markets. Congratulations for that. It's very important, the work that you're doing. I will like to see many Mexican companies getting into your platform and start wholesaling. I think it's a great opportunity for anyone that is watching at this moment.
Absolutely. That's our goal here, right? We want to support them.
To end the conversation, to end the interview, I would like to ask you, you are very young, but I'm sure you have great personal finance experience. What would you be your tip, your suggestion to someone that is watching us at this moment as a personal finance advice?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Roberto. Say I'm young. I'm actually not that young anymore.
You look like
I think
younger than me.
Thanks to my parents or genes, right? No, but kidding aside. No, I think for personal finance, I actually have a very profound experience, right? Personally, sharing very personally, I didn't come from a well-off family background, right? Myself, I kind of support myself going through university, going through college, right? Wow. I didn't have any much support. So from a young age, I knew that how to manage my finance, I know is something very important that I should learn and I should know. And that's not something that they teach at school.
Correct.
Right. And then I think that's something that I think is very essential. When I say that, it's like personal finance is very essential to everybody, that in the world, because once you work in the workspace, you start earning. Like what do you do with that money? Of course,
it's easy to spend it in a lot of things.
Of course, that's very important. Spend it, but how can you maintain a sustainable living, right? Correct. How you can plan for future? You say because of my upbringing, that's always on back of my mind. Okay, what if I lose my job today? I first got out of college. I still got to pay my, college tuition debt. I have, all the debt that I have to pay off. And then what if I, don't make enough money? So, right. As a young college graduate, I started thinking about that. And, my advice, my personal advice is to start early, which is the first thing.
You start early.
Yeah. As simple as, I study in US, right? So I think building credit is very important. So the first thing that I did at that time is that once I got into college, I was able to get a credit card. I applied for a student credit card because from age 18, I'll be able to start building my credit. And that credit score...
very important.
Very important, right?
But you have to keep it right.
Yes, I keep it right. And then pay off your credit card every month, right? Use it as a tool for you to grow your credit, to use it as a financial tool, but not really as a way to increase your debt.
Yeah,
right?
Spend more. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I think the other concept, I feel like it's also because of the early age, start investing, anything, right? And then the idea is the power of compounding interest, right?
Very important.
Right, very important, because today I know I can invest, let's say, 100 pesos, 1,000 pesos, right, every month. But that 1,000 pesos after 20 years, 30 years, right, it's significantly more than, you invested when you're 50 years old.
It can get to millions, yes.
Exactly, right. And then I think that's something that's very powerful and very simple, right, that I think anything, right, for young, especially, for the young audience that you have, start investing, anything. It could be, I don't know, stock, or even if you're thinking about business idea. Right.
At some point, yes.
Right. Real estate probably, it's more challenging for young people, right? But I think you have access to, right? I know like a lot of young people start investing in cryptos.
Yeah.
I'm not recommending risky, right? But I think something that you feel comfortable, I think that's most important, right? And then start early, right? Or even saving, right? You can put money in a saving account that generates some interest, but over the years, right, the compounding interest would take place as well, right? And so I definitely believe that, saving, it can jumpstart a lot of things, right? And first of all, pay off your debt, pay off the higher interest that you have, right? And then try to, pay off your debt first. Of course, there's a good debt and bad debt, right? I think,
yes.
Yeah, Roberto, you might be the expert, right? But I think, with that, if you start getting that into your head, you become really interesting, because in a way, all these concepts really becomes personal, because you can see that in your bank statement. Okay, correct. That decision that I made 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, it has resulted into, that certain amount in bank account, right? And then besides that, outside of financial investment, I also believe that personal investment is very important, right? And then, as a personal investment, how do you invest in yourself? Continue to educate yourself, continue to grow, right, as a professional, as a person, and then also have fun, right, to diversify your hobby, your interests, right?
That is a great advice. Congratulations, Alex. And thank you for being here in Aldea Financiera.
Thank you, Roberto. It's a pleasure.
I hope to have you soon again.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much. And gracias a todos ustedes por estar aquí en el programa. Una gran entrevista. Denos sus comentarios. Síganos en redes sociales. Les agradezco mucho su atención y nos vemos en la siguiente edición. No sin antes desearles que tengan un día, ya lo saben ustedes cómo, con tendencia positiva. Hasta la próxima.